Hey, what is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are going over some Ethereum news. We'll look at the charts, we'll look at some price predictions, we'll look at a whole bunch of stuff. So let's go ahead and let's jump straight into the computer here. Now, as many of you do know, I do have a Patreon. Now, if you do want access to this Patreon, it will provide you with many different things. My trade alerts, trade updates, anything that I'm researching or the research that I do for these videos, early access to my videos, access to my trade portfolio. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that comes along with it. Definitely go down to the link in the description. Go check it out and let me know what you think. Also, if you are looking to expand out into a new brokerage or start your own investment journey, I do highly recommend using the referral link down below. It'll bring you over to Webull, and whenever you do sign up and deposit $100, you will get 2 free stocks valued all the way up to $1,850. But whenever it comes to Ethereum, what are we seeing and what am I expecting? Well, first, I think we should kind of take a look at the trades that we have been doing at Ethereum, as we have been doing quite a fantastic job. So if we do go back out, the first trade that we did on the Patreon on Ethereum recently was going to be on April 28th, bought about $150 worth, just a small amount to increase my position, nothing too crazy. As many of you do know, my style of investing is to just look for great opportunities to increase my position, but I'm not very in, out. Now, I know many of my Patreon members are buy in, sell out within maybe the same day, same 2 days, and so I always let them know, hey, look, I think this could be a great time to sell, take profits, etc., in my non-financial advisor opinion. So on April 28th, whenever we did buy, we bought at a fantastic time. I mean, this thing has been absolutely mooning since then. I bought it right around this dip, and then we did see a bit of a bullish engulfing there, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Since then, that trade has then grown up about 35%, which is phenomenal. We always love to see trades like that. I did let them know this morning that I thought now could be a great time to take profits off of that trade, as I just do believe we are working our way into overbought territory, and we could, of course, see a bit of a pullback soon, but nothing too long-term in my opinion. Now, we actually did buy a little bit more last night, so as we can see, we did buy about $100 of Ethereum around that 32 mark once it finally went through. Just about $100, just increasing that position, just consistently trying to look for great opportunities. The reason I did buy that is we did see it start to find some resistance around this 38% Fibonacci level. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm confident. It did seem as if it was going to maintain on this upward trend line that we saw before. And so through all that, I was like, I think this is a good time. You know, I still think that we are so high that we could see a bit of a pullback coming at any given point, but I'm still confident enough. And if that pullback does come, I'll just put it even more in, right? So there's not too much stress there. Since then, since we did buy around that 32 level, which is going to be right around here, we're up about 8% overnight, which is definitely nice. Again, I did let some of my Patreon members know, could be a great time to take profits if you are not holding this thing long term. I always say that, right? You never know what's going to happen with these cryptos. You never know when a big crash will come. You never know what's going to happen. So if you're just trying to get in, get out, and make some quick profits, get your profits, take profits out. I'm not going to be that guy who's going to tell you never sell. It's going to, $800,000. Like, no, if you're going to lock in profits, lock in profits. It's not that big of a deal, right? So with that, I'm very excited to see where it goes from here, right? I think we are finally starting to meet a bit of resistance, which is pretty surprising. I mean, this thing has been pushing out these 4% candles like it's nobody's business. I mean, this thing is absolutely beautiful. That's a fantastic candle. About a 4.3% candle there. We saw another candle here. This one should be roughly about the same. Yeah, about 4.3%. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing to see how well it has been doing this. So with that, I mean, it does seem like the bullish momentum is still continuing. This upward pressure is very strong still, and it's not showing much signs of slowing down yet, but of course we do just need to pay close attention to it. Now, one thing I do want to take notice of is that every time that we have seen it work its way this far out of the relative strength index, that it has slowed down a bit. I do like to pay attention to the RSI just a bit, just to kind of get an idea of where this thing could go. But at the end of the day, it's not, the say all be all, right? It's just kind of a good way to kind of anticipate what could happen. But as we can see here, the last time that it did work its way this far out, we saw a bit of a fall down about 22%. And then prior to that, another time right over here that we saw it work its way out, we saw it fall again about 20% as well. So definitely one to keep an eye on. Is definitely important to pay attention to, as we could see a bit of a pullback sometime soon here. I mean, even here, once we saw it work its way this far out, we did see a bit of a fall, about 13%, about 15%. So definitely, again, important to pay attention to. We have worked our way out of that. And so with that being said, I am, again, expecting a bit of a pullback. So I am sitting on cash, as I do plan on entering a trade once we start to work our way back down in these levels, maybe reach a 50% retracement on the fib. And then with that, that'd be a great time for me to enter. Now, this is, again, a position I'm building up over time. I'm going to continue to build this up over the next who knows how many years. Even if we do see some big crypto bear market coming, I'm just going to buy a whole bunch bunch more. So with that, I will just continue to make sure I'm getting my time in. Now, whenever looking at Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, I mean, this thing is just absolutely bashing any channels that it has potentially been in. I mean, every single point of resistance that we saw it at, it just ate it, really. More than it just really ate it. So I'm curious to see exactly how far this thing is going to run. The last low court was way back in May of 18. So I'm not 100% sure if we're going to see it run that far. I think it's definitely possible if Ethereum's price does keep moving how it is. But I do feel like it's not going to be a clean shot straight upwards. I'm expecting a little bit of pullback, a little bit of resistance, and then maybe a retest there, which would be absolutely phenomenal. So I'm definitely interested to see how this thing does move. Again, we do just need to be very careful right now. I personally wouldn't say now is the best time to start a position, just until we do start to see a little bit of some relaxation here, as we have seen a many days in a row now of green, and that typically is going to be followed by some red at some point. Now, I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to. You know, this thing could grow another 10 to 15% and then pull back 20%, or it could grow 20-30%. You never really know, right? And so with that, I don't usually try to gauge it too much. If you're long on this, if you truly believe it has long-term potential, don't stare at these charts all day long trying to figure it out. I usually just do it. I'll look at it and say, okay, if it does that, I'll buy in. If it doesn't buy that, I'll probably just buy in anyway. And it does just, give us a good idea of when a good entry could be. But I don't think stressing about it really is the best way to go, right? So, just talking about Ethereum, just to get an idea of how big Ethereum has now become, let's talk about companies in the real world that it is bigger than, which is absolutely ridiculous. Its market cap, okay, is now higher than that of ExxonMobil, Adobe, Verizon, Coca-Cola, Intel, Netflix, AT&T, Pfizer, Cisco, Toyota, Nike, Chevron, Pepsi. I mean, that is so insane to think about, that it has grown so substantially over such a quick period of time, right? Now, some people may say that's absolutely crazy. It doesn't make any sense. And who knows, maybe they're a little bit right. But with that, I mean, it's just phenomenal to see the capabilities of Ethereum and to see the capabilities of the crypto world within itself. And going forward, I'm just so excited to see what the future holds, as I do think crypto is going to have a very strong position in the future. And I think that this, the Ethereum blockchain is going to be a very important factor in that as well. So one thing, a little, just a few pieces of news that I do think are super duper interesting. I think the fact that the S&P Dow Jones has now launched a Bitcoin Ethereum indices amid crypto surge, which is super cool. The fact that it is being recognized by some of these very high up companies, it's just awesome. All right. It spreads awareness and makes people kind of understand that it is legitimate. It's here to stay. And I'm excited because I think that the biggest thing holding cryptocurrency back right now is a lack of understanding and a lack of education. And I think as we do get some more news like this, that is definitely just going to be big. And we will start to see more people kind of not only just become aware, but start to understand the capabilities of crypto and Ethereum specifically. So as we can see here, the S&P Bitcoin index will measure the performance of the world's biggest cryptocurrency. With an S&P Ethereum index designed to track Ether, the digital token used for transactions on the Ethereum blockchain. A third index, the S&P Cryptocurrency Megacap Index, will measure the performance of both Bitcoin and Ethereum digital assets. So again, it's just exciting. It's something cool to see, and it's just another step in the right direction for the crypto world. Now, speaking of the steps in the right direction in the crypto world, Sotheby's is now accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum after partnering with Coinbase. I'm super duper excited about that. If you don't know who Sotheby's is, they are a very, very big company. I mean, that's a $2.6 billion company. And now I know whenever we're looking at Ethereum's market cap, that is not in comparison. But in terms of just general, widespread, how many people actually know who Sotheby's is, that's a very big company. And I'm super excited about that. I know they're within 40 different countries right now. They have many different locations. And I think as we do just continue to see these different companies start to accept not only Bitcoin, but Ether as well, that'll provide more people with capability. There's more usage. And with that, of course, is just nothing but beneficial for Ethereum. Now, the last thing that I did want to talk about today, it's just something for some of my newer investors who do follow my channel, who may not know much about Ethereum, who may just really have started following them as I started talking about them. I want everyone to be super duper careful with paying too close attention to the Bitcoin comparisons, because I saw it in my Patreon at one point, and I saw it in my comment sections where everyone's like, dude, this thing is gonna do exactly what Bitcoin did, and we're gonna see it go to 60K in the next year, right? Okay, there's a possibility that it happens, right? But I think that times are different, right? I think that at the time that we saw Bitcoin really starting to catch up in momentum, that it was really one of the only ones within the crypto world that had that capability to do so. And I think that there was a very, very strong lacking in competition for Bitcoin that truly allowed it to elevate. What I want to be careful about right now is whenever we see articles kind of like this one, where it's like, while one may think Ether has risen a lot, when you compare it to Bitcoin, there's a long way to go. And I think that those can be a little misleading because it almost says like it is going to do exactly what Bitcoin has done. And I think, again, it has the possibility, but I wouldn't be necessarily so caught up like, man, okay, I put in $100 at 2K, so if it goes to 60K, you know, I'm gonna be up about $3,000, right? I just want to be careful with that. Ether and Ethereum, it's its own entity. It has its own capabilities. It could bypass Bitcoin one day. You never know. But I think everyone should kind of just be very cautious and aware whenever we compare the prices of Ethereum and Bitcoin, because it's true, you know, Ether has its own competition, right? We have things like ADA Cardano, we have things like Polkadot, and all of these different cryptos that can compete as altcoins with Ethereum right now that are of course going to kind of dictate where the price can or cannot go. Okay, so just with that, you know, it's something I do want to pay very close attention to and be careful of, because in the long term you never know what could happen, right? I mean, blockchain technology is absolutely phenomenal, and you never know over the next 10 years what the capabilities of Ethereum will be, and that could definitely send it on some big upward spiral that catches Bitcoin. But for the time being, I would say don't get too caught up, right, in trying to chase the whole idea of, oh, this is going to 30x up to Bitcoin and it's going to catch it right now. Rather, focus on what Ethereum is doing, how it's upgrading itself, how all of these new different methods of usage that it is coming up with, and what we could truly see the potential of Ethereum is, rather than trying to compare it to everything else around it, right? That's kind of just my take. That's just my opinion. I know it is a good idea, or it does make sense to compare to see what the capabilities of an individual crypto are, to see like, oh, look, Bitcoin did this, so Ethereum could do it, and that's fine. But saying that it will do it because Bitcoin did this, you know, don't get too caught up in it, just in my opinion. So with that being said, that is about it for today's video. Just a quick little update on what all we have been seeing. I'm super duper excited to see how this all does transpire and continue. And again, if we do see any big news, if we see any fall in price, if I do update my trading, I will definitely let you all know ASAP. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, you can let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new. I post on this channel 2 to 3 times every single day, and I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace.